Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hey, good evening, folks. How's everybody? What is happening? Good evening, Patman. I don't have my new Dante yet. What do you think would be a good base coat? I mean, if he's going to be primarily gold, possibly like a black followed by Retributor Gold. I like to cheat and use Retributor Gold for models that are going to be primarily gold. I'd probably use masking tape, right? Like to mask off the base. So I'd probably spray the whole model black. I'd probably mask off the base with masking tape and then just spray Dante himself gold. I don't mind the Retributor armor spray. It's kind of expensive. And usually if you use a Retributor armor spray, you're still going to have to paint some Retributor armor because the coverage on it isn't brilliant. But I use it. I'm lazy though. Good evening, Rez. How are you doing? Nathan, good evening. GW would have primed him black. Do GW actually recommend you use the Retributor armor spray, or do they not? And they must sort of recommend it, they sell it, right? Don't want to take my shirt off. I always get so hot in here when I'm painting with all the lights that I've got on, so... Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. Saw that the entire 10th edition rulebook leaked today. Like, at this point, it's almost like... I don't know what hasn't leaked. I guess what hasn't leaked is the Blood Angels rules, huh? But all the war... No, not the war gear. All the rules, the close combat rules, the default stratagems, everything leaked today. What's up, Sauce Dude? Jordan, what's happening? Alright, I'm going to be painting some Death Company. Edge highlighting. The joy, the joy. Nathan sub-assembled Gilliman earlier. He's going to paint them once you finish your blade guard. Nice. I was thinking I'm going to get that new company champion that goes on made to order on, I think he goes on made to order on Friday. I think I'm going to get him, and I think I'm going to, like, I've been toying with the idea of getting 3 more blade guard for a while. I think I'm gonna. So I'm going to have, I think I'm going to have 5 more blade guard if you include the company champion. That'll give me 13 of them or something like that. I think that's what I'm aiming for. Like, just have a boatload of blade guard. I think they're going to be really useful. If they're not, then I'm happy to be labelled an idiot. But I think based on the stuff that leaked today, I think it's called Tank Shock. There's an amazing stratagem for vehicles, like absolutely amazing. I mean, it's going to be a good stratagem for like Land Raiders. It's going to be an insane stratagem for like what are they called? Dreadnoughts. An absolutely insane stratagem. It's almost going to be like every time your Dreadnought makes a charge, if you have CP, you can just do 6 mortal wounds. I think statistically it's going to do like 5.3 mortal wounds every single time your Dreadnought makes a charge if you got 1 CP. It's going to be pretty good for Land Raiders, probably more like 3 or 4 mortals every time they charge, but yeah, I think like my Brutalis was pretty high on my list to get done. I think I'm like elevating it higher up, because if the Brutalis every time it charges is going to do like 5 or 6 mortal wounds, that's just, it's going to be pretty insane, pretty useful, I think. Evening, Michael. I'm good. I hope you're good as well. How's things? At this point, GW is leaking stuff on purpose, says Stuka. It does. I don't know if it's on purpose, because the leaks today were like, it's like the whole codex taken by someone's, taken in, like photos taken in someone's car. Like you, like it's, I don't understand. Anyway, photos taken in someone's car for the leaks today. But like it's the whole rulebook. Like, I don't think there's any, like, it covered strategic reserves, it covered all the shooting. The only thing it didn't cover, and I don't know this yet, and I was trying to see, because it covered a lot about different attacks and stuff. Does anyone know what the keyword psychic actually means? Like, we know, like, you know, lethal hits, devastating wounds, God knows what other things, but I don't know if we know what psychic, like the keyword psychic, what does that mean? That's what I was trying to find out. That's the one thing that I think that hasn't leaked. I think everything else has leaked at this point. I think you should get the model res. I honestly think Blade Guard are going to be super cool, and I think that you can probably do a conversion with that guy, like magnetize a Storm Shield to his backpack or something, so he can be part of the Blade Guard if you want him to. The timing for it makes me think that it really does make me think that we're gonna get like a Primaris company champion. Like, I think they talked a little bit about like, hey, we're not gonna necessarily do rules for models we don't sell anymore. Well, I think that possibly one of the models that might go Legends then is the Firstborn company champion, and we might get the Primaris company champion. So that's kind of what I think might happen. I mean, I don't know anything. No one tells me anything. I don't know anything. I don't have sources, but the leak this morning wasn't 100% complete. The pages are missing. Yeah, I mean, there might have been a couple of pages missing, but it was significant. It was like so much of the new rules have leaked now. Like, almost to the point where, like, you could ask me any question you want about the new rules and I could probably answer them. Like, that's how much was leaked. if you do want to ask, the person that leaked it on lunch was just someone that nicked outside with the thing and took photos of them in the car. Well, they probably should. If that's true, Jason, they probably shouldn't have shown off what make of car they have, right? Because that would narrow it down a bit, I guess. My thought, yeah. Well, we kind of know what's leaked, so we're due to do an episode tomorrow night on the Grot stream. Like a full 2-hour chatting stream, whatever you want to call it. So the plan is on the podcast stream tomorrow night to just go over the entire book, or yeah, I mean, I guess it is the entire book, and talk about what's good. The thing that got me though is like that tank shock rule is nuts. I thought they talked about like making mortal wounds less. Like, they definitely said, like, oh, it's going to be harder to do mortal wounds. I was like, alright, it's harder to do mortal wounds, but you're telling me my dreadnought can... Like, I thought dreadnoughts were going to be pretty useful. I kind of think Redemptors might come back in the meta. I kind of hope they do, because I've got 3 of them. But I also think Brutalises are going to be pretty strong, and if they can do 6 mortals before they even charge, or as they charge each time, that's going to be crazy. What colour am I using for the edge highlighting? It's the Space Wolf, Fenrisian Grey. I use it in all the Death Company models. Some people like to edge highlight, I think, with like Eshin Grey for Death Company. For me, it's always been Fenrisian. It's a bit brighter, I guess. But I mean, I don't think it makes any odds which one you use. I don't really know why I chose this one. I don't know if I had the other one when I first did my Death Company, or maybe I was copied. I probably copied a Games Workshop scheme. That's usually how I started it. If the leak was any more professional, we would be calling it fake. Yeah, I mean, I really do think that's the book. Like, maybe there's a couple of pages missing, but I think that leak today is genuine. Like, I genuinely think that is the rule book for 10th edition, and from what I read, because I was at work, so I skimmed it pretty quickly, but from what I read, it sounded pretty good. There was a few key differences. I suppose one of the key differences is you're going to be able to shoot at vehicles and monsters that are engagement range. So if someone's got like a Bloodthirster that's up in combat with you, and it's a phased... Well, I don't even know if we're going to get phased cap models anymore, but I was going to say if it's a phased cap Bloodthirster, you could do damage to it in the shooting phase. So what you're saying about a Dreadnought is I should build and paint my Relic Contemptors on my Leviathan Dreadnought. It's going to be a Dreadnought. It needs to have a melee weapon. So the stratagem that leaked was called Tank Shock. And what it says is you take the strength of one of your melee weapons. So like in the case of a Land Raider, I think your strength is like 8. In the case of a Dreadnought, your strength will be like 12 or 14. So let's assume that you have a melee Dreadnought with like strength 14. Well, even if you use the Land Raider as an example, the thing that leaked was basically what happens is you take your strength. If it's higher than your opponent's toughness, you add on 2 dice, and then you roll a d6 for your strength. So if your strength's 14, you roll...
Lorenzo donated €5 via Super Chat. Need to decide the last 75 PTS, 9th ed. Eliminators still worth?
Last 75 points for a list. In 9th edition, Eliminators with Las Fusils are probably the better option, but they usually underperform for me. I would, if I just had 75 points left, I'm guessing probably I would run Land Speeder. Maybe like a Tornado, I think that's 70. If you don't have all your characters, a Firstborn Tech Marine isn't bad for 75 if you've got a way to like You got a way to get them into the fray of things. But Eliminators are probably a good shout. I think the problem with Eliminators that I find is I find that like 2 shots from the las fusils, there's never enough. Like, you know, so it's like I always end up taking the Sergeant so I can get the move, shoot, move, but then you take the move, shoot, move to the detriment of any type of damage output. I guess if you had 3 Eliminators with las fusils, maybe that's an okay choice. I never had great success with Eliminators. I feel like I always have better success running attack bikes or land speeders. And land speeders just generally can, for me anyway, it always seems they can do more. They can get to where I need them to be. It's funny that, because like, you think Eliminators have like long range and -3 and flat 3 damage, and then I always seem to do more damage with a single multi-melta. What brush am I using to use the highlights? Just a cheap Element Games character brush. And it's been well used. This one's probably got like, I don't know, a couple hundred hours of painting in it, maybe more. Yeah, so for the Dreadnought, it's like you take the strength of the weapon, so like that's strength 12 if you did like a, no sorry, strength 14 if you do like a Redemptor Fist, right? So you go strength 14, if you're higher than the toughness of the enemy you're fighting, and let's face it, if you're strength 14, what are you not higher in toughness? You add 2 extra dice, so you've got 16 dice. So you roll 16 dice when you charge with a Redemptor Dreadnought. On every 5 up, that's a mortal wound. So for 1 CP, statistically, that's 5.3 mortal wounds every time you charge. Assuming that what you're fighting is less than strength 14, and like, what the the only thing that's not going to be less than strength 14 is like I don't know. I actually don't know. What's got more than toughness 14? Have they shown anything that's got toughness more than 14 in 10th edition? I don't know. Maybe there's something that's got toughness more than 14. I honestly can't think of anything that they've shown that has toughness more than 14. If you're impressed with Tank Shot, just walk out for Custodes. They will outclass most others. What, their tanks will outclass? I mean, Custodes Dreadnoughts will just be able to do the same, right? Oh, because they're because Telemons are going to be toughness 16 with their melee weapon, is that right? So Telemons are going to be even better than, like, Telemons are pretty much going to be guaranteed 6 mortal wounds for 1 CP when they charge. Is that what you're saying? Mass Prophet says, I hope we get rules or detachments similar to World Eaters. I was feeling those with our movement speed would be killer. Do you know what? I actually didn't like the World Eaters preview, man, because I don't like rules like that where there's like, it's super random. That's kind of how it felt to me. It was like, oh, World Eaters, you're rolling on this big table and there's loads of different things you can do, and I don't know if I would like to build a list for that sort of nonsense. So yeah, I wasn't the hugest fan of what World Eaters got, to be completely honest with you. What do you think of the Laser Destroyer? Right, so I just got a Vindicator Laser Destroyer. I have never played it, but James played it against me, like my Vindicator Laser Destroyer, on Sunday night, and I thought it was good. Flat 6 damage is really nice. It's going to all depend on whether or not it gets flat 6 damage, I think, going into 10th edition, right? Because if it gets flat 6 damage, then I think it's really nice. If it doesn't get flat 6 damage, then I'm not as sold on it. I don't hate it. Reziel says you don't take Eliminators for their offense. I think that's probably a good point. Every time I take Eliminators for offense, they don't do enough offense. So I would, if it was me and I had 75 points left, I would take probably like a Land Speeder, Tornado probably, or I'd do a bit of jiggling, because remember, you can get a Sternguard Veteran Squad for 100 points, and it's super competitive, I feel like. Sternguard Veteran Squad, you can have 2 multi-meltas, you can have a Power Fist, you can have 3 combi plasmas for like 100 points. It's super competitive. I think I'll be running the Sternguard Veteran Squad till 9th ends, honestly. Like, I feel like it's 100 points well spent. I suppose the other thing to say is, like, Voidsmen at Arms are super useful as well in 9th edition, I find. I don't know how useful they're going to be in 10th, but in 9th they're super useful. You could also take a single acolyte, so you could take a land speeder, like a regular speeder, for 60, and then you could take a single acolyte for 10 if there's some play there I'm thinking of. Eliminators can get 12 inches of movement and charge. Well, they can, but I mean they're only hitting on 0 AP or 1 AP at best. I don't think rolling 8 dice will be as random as you think. You'll always get multiple buffs from it. Yeah, no, I don't dislike. I don't think you won't get buffs for it, Mass Prophet. I just don't necessarily like. Like, if it was me, I wouldn't like to have to play an army that's so random, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't think you're not going to get buffs. I think, of course, you're going to get buffs. But I think that they're not going to be the ones you need at specific times, which is what I don't like about it. I like a little bit more uniformity. But, I mean, hey, Chaos are not exactly uniformity, so I guess that makes sense, right? I bought a spur of the moment tank, Venator tank destroyer. I think it looks better and more than the laser destroyer. I guess the problem is we don't know, right? Like right now, yeah, you might think it's better than laser destroyer, but like everything is about to change when they drop the new Imperial Armor book or the new 10th edition rules. So laser destroyers could become useless. I mean, they're. I was going to say the rhetoric is definitely to push the Primaris tanks, right? Like, what's that Primaris tank? The Gladiator with the Lancer. Like, they definitely want the Gladiator Lancer I mean, I feel like if I was Games Workshop, I want the Gladiator Lancer to be just as good, if not better, than the Laser Destroyer, because that's the one that we're trying to sell in all of our different stores, right? In terms of like. You know, like, I mean, they do sell laser destroyers, but it's more like speciality / Forge World model, right? So yeah, I'm hoping the laser destroyer stays good or is good, but I think, I mean, I have a Lancer as well, so I'm lucky, but greetings, Morgo, how are you? Hadley, what's happening? Good evening, guys. Atlas, a lot of the basic, yeah, maybe I'm wrong with the World Eaters. I definitely liked how they made it that it was much more difficult to resurrect Angron, for sure. Because Angron coming back every single turn felt pretty obnoxious to me, honestly. Like, it didn't feel balanced. It's like every time you kill Angron, oh, he's instantly back. I get within the lore he's supposed to sort of be like that, but I felt like playing against it just felt like a little bit too much. Because I think I mean, I had the first game I played against Angron, I lost, even though I killed like Angron 3 times. It was like, oh right, yeah, I definitely shouldn't have spent so much resources killing Angron, because he just keeps coming back, doesn't he? So I mean, that was on me making mistakes, but I'm gonna use my painting handle. With the new rules, are dual lightning claws irrelevant now, or did I read it wrong that you can still attack with both? If you, based on what they showed with the company, not the company, the Terminator, the captain that could take the dual lightning claws. Having dual lightning claws gives you 1 extra attack. So like if you had a power sword or something, and your base was 5 attacks, if you changed to lightning claws, you would have 6 attacks. So you get 1 more attack for the lightning claw, and by having 2 of them, you get to reroll your wounds, which is the ability that the lightning claw has right now for a single lightning claw. So I think probably what's going to happen is lightning claws are now probably objectively worse than power swords if you just have 1 of them, because I think if you just have 1 of them, you'll probably not get any additional attacks. You'll be -2, whereas a power sword is -1. But I think they gave the lightning claw 1 extra strength, But I don't know if that's because you have 2, you get 1 extra strength, or if it's 1 extra strength, period, right? So, lightning claws are indeed, I guess, considerably less attractive than they were for the last couple of editions. If, like me, you made a ton of Vanguard vets with single lightning claw and storm shield, they might be okay, because Storm Shield might get some interesting rules, like Storm Shield might be an additional wound, and if that's the case, then that could be very cool. And it would give us like more durable jump units, which could be very cool. But if the Lightning Claw is now like Strength 6 -2, just 1 damage, no rerolls, then I guess objectively it is a lot worse than it was, and potentially it's worse than a Power Sword now. So it really is going to come down to the points of a single Lightning Claw. I don't have all the data. I'm just telling you what I think based on the fact that I think we've only seen a 2 Lightning Claw model. We've not seen a model that just has 1 claw. But the model that had 2 claws, you're not getting to make, like it said, like a Power Sword is 6 attacks, dual Lightning Claws is 7 attacks. So by having the 2 claws, you're getting 1 more attack. And you're getting to re-roll the wounds. But the only reason you're getting to re-roll the wounds is because it's twin-linked, right? If it wasn't twin-linked, I'm guessing you're just getting 1 more attack and that's it. One Lightning Claw is probably just under the power weapon profile. Yeah, I think it's probably just worse than Power Swords now. Twin Lightning Claws may still have a place. Yeah, I mean, they may still have a place. Maybe in, like, Terminators. If Terminators have a 4-up save built in, you could still run Twin Lightning Claw. I just don't know if we're going to see it. I mean, we might see it still on Vanguard vets. I don't know. Because I've made most of my Vanguard vet, like, if I want damage output, I typically want to run Death Company and Sangre Guard. The reason that I run Vanguard vets is because of the Storm Shields. So we may still run Vanguard vets, but it could be because of the Storm Shields, and it might be that the Lightning Claw build is just a little bit weaker now, but it might still be a cheap build, so you might still want to go with it. Death Guard seem a little naff. Based on what we've seen with Death Guard, yeah, I kind of agree they do seem a little naff. I kind of thought to myself, when I was reading the Death Guard preview, I was like, I don't think their aura should be, and I mean, it's a bit late now, right? Like, because it's already probably, like, if Games Workshop are showing the preview, then it's already published, it's already probably in the books, etc. I was kind of thinking to myself, like, maybe Death Guard, rather than, like, -1 toughness, maybe what they should have got is, like, +1 to the wound roll, if you were in contagion range, because like if you were with a new range of toughness, like with a lot more models having much higher toughness, then -1 toughness actually becomes like a lot less good. Because like if you used to fight like I don't know, a Land Raider, then you moved from like toughness 8 down to toughness 7, so it was like a break point, right? Like it was like, oh, typically if you attack something on toughness 8 or 7, it's like a break point where it's like significantly easier to wound it down 1 toughness, right? At least that's what I think. And so when I saw that they're still just -1 toughness, I was like, I don't know if I love that. I think it would have been much better if they'd been like just +1 to wound if you're within contagion range. Which is essentially the same thing, right? But like potentially more balanced with a new bigger range on toughness. They can get double mortal wounds on 6s. What gives them double mortal wounds on 6s? It's funny that like I swear just last week they said on the Warhammer community site that they were trying to like curb mortal wounds, and they're like, there was too many mortal wounds in 9th edition. I was like, okay, one of the base stratagems is just going to do like potentially 6 most of the time you use it. I wonder if like if they wanted to curb mortal wounds, I feel like they should have maybe capped some of these mortal wound strats at 3. Sorry, somebody said that they fixed plasmas. I'm not sure I agree with that as well. Having no -1 damage is going to hurt Death Guard a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt all of their units a lot. I suppose it depends on what. Like, we don't know points costs. Maybe they figured that the -1 damage was too difficult to balance, so they've lost -1 damage, but all their units are going to go down in points. You never know. -1 damage did seem like it was a tricky thing for them to balance, because Death Guard are typically very slow, right? So they've got all these like really slow models. I felt like it was kind of hard for them to balance. You think that having just one Lightning Claw will just be classified as basically a power weapon? Yeah, I mean, I guess that could happen, Jim. I don't know. I tend to think that they've basically rewritten it so like having one Lightning Claw is a bit weaker than a power weapon. So like the strength of Lightning Claws is to have 2 of them. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I felt like when I was reading the dual Lightning Claw profile. Plasma isn't fixed, it's just less of a problem. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Plasma now, though, is you're not going to be able to re-roll your ones, right? So anyone that used to take Plasma and drop them down in like areas to get re-roll ones from characters, or anyone that was going to try and do that with Oath of the Moment, then it's irrelevant now. The ones from Plasmas basically can't be re-rolled, which is fine. You're hoping the Librarian Dreadnought doesn't go Legend status? Yeah. I don't know how much stuff is going to go Legend status. It'd be nice if they give us a list sooner rather than later, so we know, like, if you're painting things, you're not painting stuff that's going Legends. That would be really nice. I don't think you can CP reroll the failed Plasmas, can you? Are you able to CP hazardous tests? Was that a thing? Did I miss that? How much do we think the fly measurement will hurt us? I mean, how much do you charge things up the hill, I guess, is the question. I think the thing that hard to say, the thing that the more important thing to me was the change of, like, models just need to move 2 inches up and down over terrain, right? That seemed like the bigger change there than the fly change. I didn't see anywhere that you can't re-roll the Plasmas ones. I didn't see anywhere that said you could. I did download the leak. Hold on. I was going to say, it's probably just like... It's probably a stratagem command reroll. In any phase when you've made a hit wound, a roll wound, a damage roll, a saving throw, an advance roll, a charge roll, a desperate escape test, or a hazardous test. Okay, sure, I mean, I guess you can re-roll the hazardous test. And that would be separate from re-rolling the hit. Okay, I mean, cool, you're right, I just don't know if I'm doing that. I don't know. Do people think Plasma's got better? Like, do you guys that use Plasma, do you think that the new hazardous rule makes them better, or do you think it makes them worse? The only thing I usually use that's got a plasma on it is a Redemptor Dreadnought. Probably makes my Redemptor feel worse because it's pretty hard to do multiple mortal wounds to a Redemptor, whereas now it'll be probably very easy to end up taking 3 by accident. Melta getting worse kind of elevates Plasma a bit. I mean, Plasma's only going to wound most things or most armor on 5s. And it's going to be super difficult to get rerolls, right? So, like, I wasn't really a fan of Plasma before. I feel like I'm even less of a fan of Plasma now. Maybe the Macro Plasma is still good. Hey, sweetheart, what's happening? You want to get another toy? Okay, I'll be back in a sec, guys. Yeah, I never liked Plasma on infantry anyway, but doing 3 mortal wounds to... The Redemptor's lost hit points as well, actually, right? They used to be 13, they're now 12. So I guess Redemptors with Plasma potentially got objectively worse. I think the thing... Well... Yeah, you only have to roll 1 dice for the hazardous weapon. Okay, so yeah, it's hard, right? Because like before, let's say you rolled 6 shots. You had 6 chances at getting a 1. Which actually statistically would just be 1 mortal wound. Whereas now, I don't think it matters the number of shots you get. You just roll the hazard test once for the weapon. You get a 1 and then it's 3 mortal wounds. I just don't like anything like that eats up your CP doesn't really provide value, right? Like, I suppose the only value it provides is that you don't take mortal wounds on your guys. Anything like that is... I don't want to use anything like that that's going to eat up my CP, I guess. You only roll 1d6 per weapon. Yeah, but I mean, so imagine if you were using Inceptors potentially are a lot worse than Hellblasters now, because Hellblasters have like all their shots on 1 weapon. Not that anyone used Hellblasters really before, but yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm probably... I mean, I didn't use Plasma Inceptors. I feel like I've even got less motivation to use Plasma Inceptors now. Because at least before I could run Dante and I could reroll the 1s and I could roll my dice, so to speak. Now it's just like, yeah, I'm not loving that. Statistically, the new hazardous rule is less punishing. Really? If you had 6... If you had 3 Plasma Inceptors You do all your shooting, and then you have to roll 66, and every one is 3 mortal wounds. So like 2-1. Yeah, I think just before, the thing about it before is you could have them in an aura and you could reroll all you could reroll all the dice with plasmas now, right? Whereas now, like with CP, you can reroll 1 dice. That's it, 1 dice. And that's going to cost you 1 CP. Yeah, I don't like it at all, but I guess maybe you guys are seeing something that I'm not seeing. I'm not a huge fan of plasmas. I'm definitely, like, command rerolls is one of the weakest ways to use your CP in game. Because, like, we just talked about it a minute ago, like, you've got your Dreadnought charging, which can potentially, 1 CP can do, like, 6 mortal wounds to the enemy. You've got grenades now, where, like, statistically, I guess, when you use grenades, you'll do, like, I think statistically when you use a grenade, you'll do 4 mortal wounds to the enemy. So you've got all these ways to do, like, really good damage from CP. It's like the last thing I want to be doing is burning the CP to prevent like a Plasma Scepter dying or something like that, right? Like, just don't take Plasma Scepters or take something else that's not going to kill themselves when they shoot their gun. Is, I guess that's how I look at it. It's more painful with only the ability to roll with CP. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is that's how I see it. Like, I used my Stern Guard a bunch of times with overcharged plasmas if I dropped them within 12 inches of Guilliman, where I got to reroll them once. Now I can't drop them in an aura of a character, so the only way I can CP is from... Sorry, the only way I can reroll is from CP, and I kind of hate that. For those who have kids, how much more is it difficult to fit in hobby time? I mean, when the kids are very young, Mass Profect, it's hard. But I mean, when the kids are very young, they sleep a lot. They sleep like 16 to 18 hours a day. So if one of you doesn't mind sitting with the kids on your lap, you can get a lot done. I guess Mephiston won't kill himself in a single... Like, Mephiston can shoot his plasma pistol right now, and now that he's got a 5-up Feel No Pain, Mephiston probably actually... Well, assuming he still keeps his Feel No Pain, who knows if he will. But if Mephiston keeps his 5-up Feel No Pain, I feel like you could probably be much more aggressive with Mephiston's plasma. Whether or not it's worth taking potentially 3 mortal wounds for a 1 extra damage plasma, I mean, that's debatable, I guess. I probably wouldn't do it, but I guess if you love plasma, go for it. Flame Aggressors. I think Flame Aggressors are going to be good. I've got my Centurions set up. Like, my Centurions are Flame Centurions. They're going to be more toughness right now. I think Centurions are... The rumour is Centurions are going to be toughness 6. I quite fancy trying, like, toughness 6 Centurions would be pretty fun. I guess it just depends on... Like, everything is going to go up toughness, like, game-wide. So it's hard to say, like, oh, Centurions are going to be really good because of a bunch of other stuff is going up. In toughness as well, right? What day is list day? I usually look at lists on Sunday for easy. But maybe after this weekend, I haven't actually set like a firm date on it, but potentially after this weekend I'm not going to do another army list show until 10th edition, because not many people are submitting lists at the moment, and we're basically like a hot minute from 10th edition at this point. So I guess if you want a list reviewed, submit it this week. We'll do an army list show this weekend, and then we'll take a break for like whatever it is, 2 weeks, 3 weeks till we get 10th edition codexes. Or I guess it's not codexes, it's indexes. Yeah, I mean, get yourself a good baby monitor, Master Prophet. Look, I mean, this is a good point. There's my daughter. Look, where's the camera? Look, she ain't sleeping. You can see her moving around in there. So, I mean, I've asked her to go to sleep. She'll go to sleep eventually. You just have to be more efficient, I guess, when you've got kids. Like, you're not allowed to be like, oh, I'm tired tonight, I can't hobby, because if you do that, then the following night the kid will be driving you up the wall and you won't get any time to hobby. So you just got to be more efficient, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking forward to when my kid wants to do 40k. I hope they're not going to be a heretic. I mean, I guess I'll buy them whatever army they like, but they better not choose heretic. Invest in a good baby monitor. Yeah, one where you can. My one's actually got two-way communication. So like, if I see her getting out of bed and I catch her quick enough, I can just press the button on it, and it's like. It like broadcasts my voice through the baby monitor to her room. Which is kind of funny, because when they're very young, like, we used to do that, and she'd like instantly like be looking around the room like, how the hell is Dad watching me? You know, like, where is he? But yeah, getting a good baby monitor will definitely help. But having kids is like the best thing you can do, man. So just do it. It's honestly, it's worth every second of hardship. Marius has 4 kids and none of them are into 40k. Why is that then? I mean, you do primarily play Ultramarines, Marius. Could that be the problem? I mean, I definitely feel like that is the problem. If you'd picked a cool faction... I'm just messing, dude. How are you? Good evening. I saw that, I think Joy Toy are doing like a rebooty Gilliman Joy Toy. I'm like so jealous. How cool is that? I don't have any of those Joy Toys. I guess the reason is, like, if I have spare money, I buy models. Like, I don't have the money to buy Joy Toys on top of everything. But the Blood Angels Joy Toys look super cool. Yes, sweetheart. Hold on. Kid's up again. Come in. Sweetheart, open the door. Come in. What's up, sweetheart? You want to do what? Just give something. You're gonna say to Daddy's friends, you're gonna say, I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna go to sleep?
Yeah.
You promise?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. What's Daddy doing?
You're holding the bottle.
I am holding the models. Alright, come on. Please go to sleep this time. Time to go to sleep, like Sleeping Beauty. Man, this week has been rough. She's just not been sleeping. She's been really good like the last sort of like 3 months. Trying making her bedtime later because she wasn't settling when we put her down to bed, but she's precious. Yeah, she is precious, man. That's why I said as much as having kids can be a hardship, it's like the best thing you can do. You should do it. You should do it. Do it and then worry about the hobby after, Mass Prophet. You'll make time. You'll find time. She's lying. I mean, I think she wants to go to bed. I think she wants to go to sleep. She just confuses herself. Joy Toy have announced new Blood Angels. What have they announced, dude? What have they announced? As I said, I don't have any of the Joy Toys. I think they're super cool. I would love to have some of them, but there's a lot of Blood Angels that there's a lot of 40k I need to buy at the moment for 10th edition. I want to be prepared. I want to get more Blade Guard. I want to get that new Primaris chapter champion. I think he's going to get rules, potentially, like actual competitive rules. I hope he is. So I think he could potentially work with the Blade Guard. So Primaris chapter champion, 3 more Blade Guard, the 10th edition box set, and then I need to be ready for whenever they release more Blood Angel stuff, which I was going to say, I don't know. I think we'll get more Blood Angel stuff maybe like, well, we're getting our codex in like a year's time, right? So hopefully we get a box set like the Black Templars got in a year's time, like with lots of Blood Angels options. Who knows? An Assault Terminator set, yeah. But what do you do with Joy Toys though, apart from like just display them? Like I guess they're releasing so many of them now. You possibly could have a game with them at some point, but yeah, they're mainly display purposes, right? Mary says, I like the Joy Toys, but I told myself I'd only get a couple, so I have 2 Victrixes and Marnius. Yeah, I saw them when they first did the Blood Angels Death Company squad. I think it was Death Company Intercessors. Why I don't overly love the rules for Death Company Intercessors on the tabletop, I did think the Joy Toys looked super cool. And I kind of wanted them to like have them somewhere in the backdrop of my stream. Oh, for goodness sake, Annabella. Sorry, I'm gonna get frustrated here in a minute. Annabella, come on, man. What are you doing? Just hear her screaming from another room. Like, come on. Peaches the Destroyer. So sorry I just missed your super chat. Primarily a Space Wolf player with no channels for us, but my first army is Blood Angels. Love the channel and work you put in. Also sympathise with the kid who got a 5-year-old girl and another little girl June, July. Oh, congratulations.
The Destroyer donated $10 via super chat. Primarily a SW player, no channels for us. But my first army was BA. Love the channel and the work you put in. I also sympathize with the kiddos, got a 5-year-old girl and another little girl due in July.
Oh well, congrats on having a second girl, man. I think it's awesome. It's I'm a little bit sad that there's no like channel for Space Wolves, you know that? Maybe, I mean, I only started my channel in 9th edition. Maybe someone will see my channel, it's a Space Wolf player, and get some inspiration to start the Space Wolf Commander or something one day. But hey, you know, in the meantime, you're more than welcome to hang out here, dude. I think there's going to be a lot of crossover between the different chapters in 10th edition, right? With like, well, we know that like that Gladiatus detachment they showed, any Marine chapter can run that now. We haven't seen the detachment rules for Space Wolves, obviously. We haven't seen the detachment rules for Blood Angels, but I think there is going to be crossover. And you know what? We're going to cover a lot of the other rules over on my podcast channel as well. Thank you so much for the $10, dude. Do people know Peaches? I've never... Someone's saying Peaches, Peaches, Peaches. Maybe they're just saying congratulations. The cost of living is outrageous. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole world has suffered from the cost of living crisis. I think it's going to hopefully get back to normal. I know that petrol here in the UK, or gasoline, I guess as you would call it if you're from America, it was about 3 times, like, not 3 times higher, but like spiked 3 times up, and now it's like spiked back down 3 times. So some prices are beginning to stabilize in certain areas, so I'm hoping that it will continue. There was a thing posted today on the UK government saying, like, it was kind of crazy. It's like there's only 55 million people in the UK, and apparently like 40% of them are struggling with bills right now. So I think cost of living is affecting everybody everywhere, but hopefully it'll start to normalize again. Over here in the UK, it's a big problem has been like energy costs, but they have said that they're expecting them to come down. They just haven't come down quite as quickly, or they haven't started coming down yet, I guess. Oh, it's a song from the Mario movie. Oh, I haven't seen that. That's the one thing that you'll miss, Mass Prophet, when you have kids, is like it's really difficult to get to the movies. That's the thing that we find the most difficult. So, like, I believe Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, or whatever it's called, is out on Disney Plus this week. That's going to be my Friday night. Me and my wife are going to watch Ant-Man 3. I think it was out in the cinema ages ago, but yeah, we find it difficult to get to the cinema with, like, just organising babysitting and making sure the kids are asleep, and then actually, you know, like, going to the cinema isn't just 2 hours. It's like, you know, you maybe want to have some food beforehand and all this sort of nonsense. So the thing that we find the most difficult is getting to the cinema. So I could have $1 million in the bank and still be concerned I was having kids before I could really afford it. I mean, yeah. The thing that I'm more concerned about, honestly, is like what the world is going to be like for my kids, right? Like in 20 years' time, if the cost of living continues the way it is, in 20 years' time, it's like how are the kids are just going to have to live with their parents forever, right? Like I don't know how they're ever going to afford their own place, or I don't know how they're going to afford their own car, and that's what I'm more worried about than anything else. Is like, yeah, that's the scary part for me anyway. Peaches, thank you so much for the $10 though, and please, anytime you got a question, reach out or whatnot. I do think there's going to be a lot of crossover. I think there's probably going to be more crossover between the factions than there has ever been, right? Especially now that we're going back to just everyone's getting indices. Do we actually know yet how many detachments there's going to be? Like in terms of like, we know about the Gladiatus detachment that potentially Ultramarines can run. But do we know, like, beyond that, like, do we know, like, just how many, you know, how many Space Marine detachments there might be? Is there going to be, like, multiple melee detachments? There's quite a few questions around that will be really interesting to know and see, and also, I think the reason they've done that is to try and balance the game better. So I'm super excited for that. I want better balance in 40k. If there was one thing that I wanted more in 9th edition, I feel like it was better balance. The aliens will save us. Okay. I mean, if you want to put your eggs in the basket of the aliens coming to save us, I mean, no one can say you're wrong, I guess. Alright, this guy's edge highlighting is kind of there. It's super messy, so I think if I clean it up... so say we'll clean him up. I've got this other guy I did the other night, so I'll clean these two up actually, and then I'll have two left to do. Shout out to John's wife for giving up most nights for us to do something. Thanks, Shady Bunny. My wife loves streaming TV, like loves it. Brock Sampson, thank you so much for becoming a company veteran. I do really appreciate that. I'm sure you've been a member before, Brock, but it doesn't say, does it? It just says brand new member. Anyway, Brock, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Make sure you get yourself over into Discord and get into our members only room. There's a lot to talk about. And like I said, if you're not familiar, I'm going to put a post up tonight probably when I get off stream. I need to actually make the thumbnail for tomorrow night. We're going to do a deep dive into all the leaked rules tomorrow night over my podcast channel. So that'll be live at like 9ish. Probably like 9:15 because we usually meet at 9. So that'll be live at like 9:15 tomorrow for probably like 2 hours. We're going to deep dive into all the leaked rules. So we got that coming tomorrow. Yeah, no, sorry, I was saying my wife loves streaming services. You always try and help me meet my goal. I appreciate you guys helping me meet my goal. I really do. Thank you so much, Brock. Yeah, no, my wife loves streaming services so much that she, like, I told her, like, we have to cancel some of them because we've got like 5 streaming services. Ridiculous. So there's so much telly, and plus we've got a 1-year-old at the moment anyway. Like, so she sits with a 1-year-old on her lap most of the time watching telly. So she's taking one for the team, but she loves watching streaming shows. So, yeah. We had a friend over actually. James Fisher was over this weekend. We played him on Sunday. I originally met James through the channel actually, and he was coming to Elgin, so we had a game of 40k, and he actually brought like my wife a box of chocolates because so she got something from the channel this week, so she's fairly happy. Netflix is the one that I was going to drop. We were paying for the 4K Netflix and we dumped that because it was like, it's too expensive, and I don't know, Netflix were like creeping the price up to the point where like here in the UK it was like 25 a month or something. So that's like 40 US for Netflix. I was like, man, that's way too much. So we don't pay for 4K Netflix anymore. I don't think there was that much content on Netflix that benefited from 4K. But then right after I said that, we were watching Last Kingdom. I don't know if you guys have watched that. I think that's a brilliant show. It's on Netflix, and we were watching it right after we ditched the 4K, and I was like, man, the picture on this show sucks now. I don't know if it was I don't know if they made it worse because we weren't paying for the 4K or whatnot, but yeah. It's funny that the Netflix charged so much for 4K, and it's like Disney Plus just gives you 4K for like $5 a month. But hey, why would you want to spend $5 a month on Disney Plus when Blood Angels Commander gives you better content for, I think we can do $3.99 a month. We're cheaper, right? Disney Plus ain't got nothing on me. I'm excited for 10th edition. I'm excited for the videos that we can make, because at the moment it feels like it's almost like I did do a video on the Brutalis Dreadnought, but like getting into some of the nitty-gritty hardcore math that I used to do maybe feels a little bit pointless right now at the end of the edition. So I'm excited to be able to do some of that again when 10th edition launches, and for people to be passionate about watching it again. So yeah, I think maybe if I only get one submission this week for the Army List show, then maybe this week will be the last Army List show of 9th edition. I refuse to pay Disney. I mean, Disney's great if you've got kids, man, because it's got basically every Disney movie on there forever, and that's hard to argue with, like, if you're trying to keep the kids busy. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I am a fan of a lot of Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and the kids stuff they do. It's hard. It's hard for me to not be a fan of Disney, I guess. I love building the Brutalis. I hope it's good in 10th. So I played the Brutalis on Sunday night. Like, I have a Redemptor that I painted black, and I basically proxied it as a Brutalis, and I think it's going to be a pretty useful model in 10th, honestly. I think the stratagem is going to benefit it massively. So I think the Brutalis was kind of high on my to-do list. Like, I would say that between it and Desolation Marines are like the next thing I'm going to do. Even if I get like the 10th edition box set, I still think maybe Brutalis and Desolation Marines are like higher priority than anything in the 10th edition box set. The Terminators might have been higher priority, but I have a lot of Terminators with bolt guns already, right? So yeah, Brutalis, Desolation Marines, high priority, I think, for sure. Brutalis maybe just went up because of the tank shot stratagem. And I don't know, like, if you haven't seen any of the rules, then tune in tomorrow night for sure, because we're going to go over everything. But Strategic Reserve got changed as well, right? So it's going to be easier to Strategic Reserve stuff. Like Dreadnoughts, they're going to be able to get into better positions more easily to affect the outcome of the game. So like, that's why another reason that I'm like, I thought the Brutalis was going to be pretty good anyway. Now I'm thinking like, I definitely need to prioritize getting the Brutalis done. Sauce says Desolation Marines are too good. Indirect isn't OP, but it's very, very versatile. Indirect's been changed a bit again in 10th, right? It's been made a little bit worse from my understanding. So I'm not sure. I still think they're going to be good. I think Desolation Marines are going to be good. I just don't know if they're going to be as good or as meta as they seem to have been. Like, they seem to have been positioned very, very highly in the meta here at the end of 9th edition. Where do you submit lists? Literally putting them in any comment of any of my YouTube videos. Anthony says I'm not much of a fan of the new box. I've been working on a video, Anthony, where I break down every unit in the new box and give it a rating out of 10 for Blood Angels. It'll be out before. It'll be out before. It'll be out before. Like, it's like my brain's broken. It will be out before the box set is up for sale, so you'll be able to make the decision based on the video, I guess. I think, like, you're saying indirect got better because you don't have to minus... You don't have to add one to their save if they're in cover, so they don't... So I guess you get away from the ability where, like, everything was just saving on 2s, I think is what you're talking about, DTM. I guess when you think about it like that, it's very, very similar to what it was. Like, because if you had a guy that was obscured before and you weren't getting cover, well, there's no difference, right? Because now you will get cover, which would have been no different from adding one to their save beforehand. So I don't think indirect necessarily got worse, but I think AP got worse and toughness got better in a lot of cases. So if an indirect weapon kind of stayed the same, then subjectively it possibly got worse, because the starting AP is worse, the toughness is stronger, like things are more durable. Hard to say then. Maybe there's like no change. I don't foresee indirect being a huge thing. We've had editions where indirect was massive, right? If everyone remembers when you used to just always run 3 Thunderfire cannons as a Marine army, or even more. Maybe, like, I've seen armies that used to run, like, was it 3 Thunderfire cannons and 3 Rapier platforms? Was that what they're called? Rapier platforms? Like, I don't think we're seeing any sort of return of that. Maybe we'll see some people run multiple squads of Desolation Marines, but I don't think we'll see that much of it. Who knows though, I suppose. If any of the models can see the target, you have no negative. Oh really? Okay, so maybe it is a little bit better then. Well, this is why I was going to dive into the book tomorrow. Could have dived into the book tonight, but it seemed pointless. I figured everybody else on YouTube is covering it anyway today, so we'll cover it tomorrow on a live stream. It should be a good stream. It'll be fun anyway. I'm gonna be glad when I'm done edge highlighting these guys, that's for sure. And then next week we've got Bolt Gun, right? I've actually pre-ordered Bolt Gun. I'm going to play it on the channel, like next Tuesday night, I think. If Super Crack has devastating wounds or something, it will be good. I don't see any reason that Super Crack would be given devastating wounds. Why do you think it would be given I don't think any of those missiles, those heavy weapons, apart from like, unless they used to have it, like for example like the assault cannon. I don't think they're just going to randomly give like Desolation Marines devastating wounds or something. Or the most interesting thing honestly will be is if you can join your Terminator Terminator Librarian to, because then like a unit that you join a Terminator Librarian to get like sustained hits, I think it was. So like the more interesting thing is probably going to be like what can you join stuff to, right? Did the transfers I get you sent you? Sorry, yes, Werty. I did get your transfers. Thank you so much. I got a bunch of transfers from you, and it included a bunch of Ultramarines transfers as well, didn't it? So I need to try and find some Ultramarine player that needs transfers. I was gonna say, is Marius Gage still in the house? And hook you up with some Ultramarines. The problem, I suppose, with Ultramarines transfers is you get them in literally every box of 40k you buy. So they must be the easiest ones to come across, right? But yeah, no, Bertie, thank you so much for the transfers. I'm always needing transfers. I'm always using them. I'm at the point where like I kind of feel like I need to buy another one of the Forge World transfer sheets. Because like I'm starting to get like halfway through mine. I've got a lot of vehicle transfers from those sheets used. I really do like that Forge World transfer sheet. Are they fancy Ultramarines transfers? They are about 10. I've got about 10 of these infantry transfer sheets. I think okay, there's a few vehicle transfer sheets there as well. It's about 5 infantry, 5 vehicle. If you want them, hit me up on Discord. If anyone wants them, hit me up on Discord. I'll find a way to get them across to you. If multiple people hit me up, I'll send you a transfer sheet each. No Ultramarines player is lacking transfer. Maybe. I remember, like, it was a long time ago, but like I do remember when they did boxes of models, like you bought an attack bike, like it was like almost like it was a Blood Angels attack bike, like, or you bought a Blood Angels Rhino and you got like a faction specific transfer sheet, right? They did that for like a hot minute at the beginning of 8th edition, because I remember I bought a Blood Angels Aggressor squad that had like I think it had like a, I guess it had like a Blood Angels upgrade sprue and a Blood Angels transfer sheet inside the Aggressor box, and that was cool. I think they did that for, they definitely did that for a few model types. I have about 30 pages of Necron transfer sheets. I've never used a single one. I have some super old Orc ones as well that I've never used. Do you remember when you used to get the banners that were like the stickers as well? I've got some of them. What boxes did those even come in? You remember what I'm talking about? Like, you remember like the second edition tactical squad that had like where did you get the banner that went on his backpack? Like, what box was that even in? I was very young when I played 2nd edition. Like, I'm 40 now, or I will be 40 in like 2 months time. But when I played 2nd edition, I must have been like, I think it was 94, so I think I was 11, maybe 10. Tactical Marine boxes from 2nd and 3rd and some characters as well. So you actually, because I remember when the characters used to come in the little blister boxes, I wasn't sure that, like, you wouldn't have got a banner inside one of those tiny blister boxes, would you? Would there even have been room for it? The Metal Furioso came with the bull banner when it first came out. Yeah, I remember having a few of the dreadnoughts with those bull banners. They were like the banners were like lead, and they broke all the friggin' time. Same as you know, the Terminators that they've re-released, whatever you would call them, like these true scale Terminators. They always used to, the Sergeant always used to come with a banner for them, and it broke like every friggin' time as well. Second edition box had stickers. Some of the blisters had transfers. Man, good times, those old blisters, I tell you. I have a couple of blisters that I've still got, like, unopened, and they're like the paper and the plastic has all gone yellow as hell because it's just so old. I do plan on opening them at some point, I just haven't decided when. What's messed up for me is like some of those blisters that I've got are like 20 years older than my kids, which is like mind-blowing. I hate these two-handed Death Company Thunder Arms, for the record, because I could do sub-assemblies, but I hate doing sub-assemblies. So I end up with like this sort of nonsense where like trying to edge highlight a little bit of his arm behind the hammer that he's holding, and genuinely it's a nightmare. I think I had about 4 of those old metal Firstborn Dreadnoughts. I don't think I have a single one where the metal banner is still either attached or not snapped in two, right? If anyone has one where they've still got the banner attached and it's not snapped in two, good for you, because I don't know how the hell you've managed that. You must have had to be super careful with it for like 3 decades. Once you bent those wonky metal banners as well, man, they never went straight again. You could never, no matter how hard you tried, you could not get the lead to go straight again. They always were like wonky forever after that point, right? The trick is to never play a game with them. I mean, yeah, I don't even think I had a carry case when I was a kid. Like the boxes that the models came in. Remember with the old like polystyrene? Was it polystyrene? Yeah, it was like that polystyrene packaging, like the white packaging stuff. That was my travel case when I was a kid, right? Like that's what I was expecting to keep my models in good condition. Disclaimer: it kept nothing in good condition. Recommendation on transporting models. Todd says I use a company called K&R Cases, or KR Cases. If you Google them, you'll just see that they sell cases with all sorts of different sized foam inserts you can buy. You can also tell them exactly what models you want to fit in each thing of foam, and they will do that for you. That's in the UK. It's pretty decent. If you're in the US, the one that looks really good, I don't know it because I'm not in the US, but the one that looks really good in the US is called Battle Foam. If you want to just buy a case that's going to protect stuff, I would recommend KR, or I would look at Battle Foam. If you want, you can make your own solution where you basically loop like magnets and metal trays into like boxes and stuff. I think Valrax bought one of those, and I've seen other people, I want to say Goobertown Hobbies. Goobertown Hobbies did a video on how to make one of those from scratch, or maybe it was Duncan Rhodes made a video on how to do one of those from scratch. So you can do it yourself if you want to save money as well. But I guess for my case, I just wanted to pay I think the KR set was about $100, and it was it just comes with loads of different foam inserts, and I can just swap them out. And because it's like a known brand, if I got new models that needed different size foam, I can just rock up on the website and say I need foam that fits a Thunderhammer and they will sell me that for about £12. Felderher, that one that just mentioned by Nathan, is also really good. I've used I don't know how the hell you say it, I think it's a German company. KR Multicase is sold in the US as well. Thanks, Rez. Yeah, so KR is the one that I've typically used, but I have used Fedher as well. Fedher sell full box sets. So, like, for example, Star Wars Imperial Assault, they sell like an insert. They know what's in that box set. They just sell like an insert where you can just basically buy the box set, and you have like a bit of foam that like all the models. So, like, if you had a board game or something. So, again, they sell custom foam based on what you need or what you've got. And, I mean, I think that's a good solution, to get the custom foam. Because it's not that pricey. You can just throw your models in the boot of the trunk of a car or something. You don't have to worry about them at all. And if you do get some new models that don't fit, you can just buy a new piece of foam. Duncan definitely did a video on making your own one. So yeah, you could check out Duncan's video if you want to make your own one, but if you want to just buy some foam. Here's the thing though, I get so little hobby time. I don't want to spend my hobby time making a travel case. I want to spend my hobby time like Edge highlighting some Death Company super slowly like I am right now, you know? So yeah, if you've got limited hobby time like I am, I think you just want to buy a case, right? Magnetically lined boxes seem to be the way. Yeah, I mean, that involves sticking magnets to the bottom of all your models. A lot of people actually do that and then just stick them into the boxes. It seems pretty simple. But I guess it's just one step further than just buying a case and being lazy. Bertie says I've got a couple of Battle Plum cases. I like the foam that they have cut to specific models. I picked up a big table war case from my Chaos Knights at Adepticon, and they use magnets on the bases. Hey Fish, yeah, I really like, when I was looking to get a new case recently, I was looking at Battle Foam, because Battle Foam have one that fits in like the overhead when you go like on an airplane. And if I was going on an airplane with my models, which I've never done by the way, and I'm kind of scared to do because you guys know how particular I am about my stuff. I'm very precious about stuff. Probably over precious. Considering my stuff is definitely not the best painted, right? Like, so I don't know why I'm so precious about it. But regardless, it's my stuff. I've put the time and effort into it. I'm precious about it. So I was looking at Battle Foam because they do one that you apparently can put in the overhead of an airplane, and it's been designed to fit in that, and it's been designed to like not, you know, keep your models in really good state while they're in the overhead of an airplane. And I was like, oh man, I like the sound of that. That's what I need, because Andrew always says to me like, oh, I just throw my models in the hold. And I was like, yeah, Andrew, you spend like one evening painting a 2,000 point army. I don't even paint one model in one evening, you know? So I don't think I'm a good painter. I'm just slow and like my stuff to have a reasonable level of effort into it, I guess. Anyway, I don't know how I'm ever going to travel with my models in a plane. In fact, I'm probably not. Because I said to my wife, I want to go to Warhammer Fest / a Warhammer World Tournament, and she was like, I wish you'd just fly because I don't want you to drive like 15 hours. And I was like, love, I don't know how I'm going. Sorry, I said to her, like, I'm not flying because I don't know how I'm taking my models. She was like, oh yeah, you're precious about them. And I was like, yeah, no shit. It's like my main hobby where I spend all my time and effort. Like, if we ever go out and we forget to lock the house, or we're not sure we've locked the house, I'm more worried about someone nicking my models than I am like nicking a PlayStation 5 or something, right? I just got off the plane with the Battle Foam 352 case, and it would fit on a plane easy. There you go. So there, yeah. I mean, if I was gonna buy a plane case, I'd probably look at the Battle Foam one because I saw a really good video on YouTube. I just finished putting Dante together. Should I paint him Death Company? I mean, if you want to, it's your call. You're Dante. I've seen a white Dante, like someone painted him white. It looked amazing. It was on the Discord. I think there's been a couple of good black ones. There's been a couple of good gold ones. I think there's even been one red one. So people have done all sorts with Dante. So, you know, if you've got a plan or if you've got something you want to do, then do it, man. I'm probably going to go a little bit more traditional with my Dante, which is funny because I'm always the guy that's saying, like, make your models look unique. But for me, Dante is like, well, he is our chapter master and he has been around a very long time, and I do try and like to do some of our Blood Angel elites in gold, so I'm just going to do Dante in gold. Kind of like, don't want to say vanilla, but I guess he will be kind of vanilla, right? He'll be the default. This jump back is annoying me. There we go. Still don't think that's very clean, but alright. I think this guy is, or I think his edge highlighting is cleaned up enough. I'm going to clean up the other guy and then we're going to move on. It's time. Yeah, it would be awesome if a bunch of you guys come to our podcast episode tomorrow night, just so we can cover everything to do with the new rules, or the leaked rules, whatever you want to say. Tom says, great suggestions. It would really depress you if you ended up damaging them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would be depressed if mine get damaged. I do occasionally drop a model at a tournament or something and like a bit breaks off them or an arm smashes off them. That does happen. But, hey! Electric Monk, thank you so much for subscribing. We don't get that many new subscribers in a stream these days, so thank you. I'm hoping we can push on a bit in terms of subscribers in 10th, maybe make it towards like 15,000 subscribers. That would be cool. That's the goal anyway. What time is the podcast? UK time will be 9:15. But I mean, it's here on YouTube, so you can get it on demand if you can join us late, or you can edge highlight this guy's thumb because reasons. I'll need to tidy that up a little bit. Philip says, I like painting any named characters in their traditional colour schemes, but I have some of their details match the rest of their army, like leather, weapon casing, purity seals and such. Yeah, I think if I was doing like... I think named characters matching the army colour schemes makes a lot of sense. I think if you had a second one of the named characters and you want to go a bit more crazy, then maybe that's what I would do. Or sometimes, like I've used the named characters for conversions before, And I think that's a cool option as well. It's like if you really enjoyed painting the named character and you wanted to have like some sort of conversion, then you could be like, right, well, I'll get another named character and maybe he'll lose some part of him that makes it obvious that he's a named character. Because I think Dante, we don't see it much, but we haven't had Primaris Smash captains yet. I guess if we ever get to a point where like we can have a Primaris Smash captain, and there's a really good option for like how you would build the Primaris Smash captain, that might be Dante might be quite a cool conversion to make into like, remember last edition how we could have like the Death Company characters? Like maybe we can have a Death Company Smash captain type Dante thing character, maybe. Between one of the guys going off the deep end and the rules leaks, there's been way too much news today. Yeah, so well, we're going to cover all the rules leaks tomorrow, I guess. Any update on my Dante? The update is that there's no ETA. It's moved back now. It's like supposed to be like the 20th of this month. I don't even know if I'm going to get Dante before 10th edition at this rate. Surely I'm gonna. But yeah, it seems like it's just there's no real. There's no real information. Like, the store has not got the Dantes yet. I hope they fix some of the supply chain issues they've been having. I've heard like some stores apparently have 6 Dantes, you know, and it's like the store I use has none, and apparently they're overstocked. I didn't order from Wayland Games, but I heard someone saying that they thought that they were going to be way behind as well. I mean, I suppose we've got to worry about 10th edition pretty soon. Like, is there going to be issues with the actual 10th edition box set? That's going to be a worry for some people, surely, as well. Precision allows you to target characters in squads, I believe. So if you, like, if let's say a Greater Demon, or let's even say like a Bloodthirster, charges a squad of Sandguard and Dante is part of that squad, if they use the one, I think anybody can use Precision and it costs 1 CP, and if they use it, it means that they can put all their attacks into your character. If they don't use Precision, then I guess you're allocating your attacks as normal. So you could go like, well, Dante's in a squad with 3 Sangre Guards, so maybe we'll kill 2 Sangre Guard first, and then I'll start taking saves on Dante, right? But if you have Precision, and I think Precision might also be used like for sniper rifles, but I don't think we've seen the profile on a sniper rifle yet. But I think Precision might be used in the same way, like, so sniper rifles have the Precision rule, and by having the Precision rule, it means that they can target the character. Surely they'll do queue management on the launch of the 10th edition box set. I think what they need to do for the 10th edition box set is just announce that they are going to do the made-to-order thing that happened with Indomitus. Like, I think if they don't do that, then half the friggin' problems that will come will be from people scalping, right? You'll just get loads of people that are willing to buy a 10th edition box set to put it on eBay for twice the price. And then the genuine players get screwed, and kind of have to buy the box set for twice the price because that's the only way they can get it. So I think last time they announced that made to order thing, I think they announced it after it had sold out, which I guess in a way is good because it means that anyone that scalped it now gets screwed because you know, anyone can get it for retail price, so why would they pay more to get it from a scalper? Well, they just wouldn't, they'd just pay the retail price. So that was potentially good that when they announced that last time, but at the same time, like, I just want the security of, like, hey, if you want a 10th edition box set, you can get 10th edition box set. We'll make one for everybody that wants one. As long as you order it by, like, said date, and they could just insert a date, they'll make you one, right? That would be my preference. When building Dante, be careful of the head. They made his head 4 pieces. Really? Is his head that big that they needed to be 4 pieces? Appreciate the feedback, Atlas. Someone used an old Dante head. I have an old Dante head. Was the old Dante, was his head separate? I don't even remember if his head was, the old one was separate. I suppose it's probably been a long time since I made it, actually put a Dante together. That was the one thing that I didn't like or didn't care for. You know, when they were announcing the Indomitus set, so like, sorry, the Leviathan set. So Leviathan is not a new player / starter set, right? They basically said as much. They said, like, you know, it's not a starter set, but then they make everything in it easy to build / push fit. And I was like, if it's not a starter set, why does it need to be easy to build / push fit? Is that not kind of countering what you're saying, right? Like, it doesn't need to be easy to build, it doesn't need to be push fit if it's not a starter set. On the 10th edition box, I have a bit of news actually. GW stores are receiving their box to paint for the store next week, and they said Leviathan may be made to order. Yeah, I mean, I think they just need to confirm it's made to order. That would be good, and then everybody that's worried about not getting it can breathe a sigh of relief. We don't need to, like, if the website's all crashing and everybody's getting stressed on that morning, no one needs to, like, have a panic attack that they can't get on. That sort of stuff. I think that would be for the best, honestly. Yeah, the last couple of pre-order weekends for me have been pretty rough, right? Like, I was here a good 10-15 minutes before the pre-order went live. I couldn't get on because the website was dying. When I finally did get on, apparently, even though I ordered it before most people, it's like a month later, I still don't even have it. Don't know, my pre-order luck, I don't even know if it's luck, it's just like the pre-orders of late have not been good for me anyway. There'll be nothing to stop the fear of missing out frenzy. Well, I mean, if they announce it's made to order, surely some of the fear of missing out frenzy will be gone, right? Because everybody knows that they can 100% get a copy, right? Or am I missing something? I feel like some of the frenzy will be gone. Um, I guess you're right. Like, people will want the models from the new box, and they won't want to have to wait 6 months for the made to order thing. I suppose the only saving grace in that case is that the models aren't exactly the most amazing thing ever for Blood Angels. Like, we could probably live without. Well, I'm sure we could live without any of them, actually. I mean, the only thing that might be the super interesting will be like the Gravis Apothecary, and I suppose that depends on what rules he actually gets given, right? There will still be scalpers. Yeah, I mean, yes, there will be scalpers. The only way we can stop scalpers is if everybody agrees not to buy it from them, right? But I mean, that'll never happen, I guess. But I do think Games Workshop could make it harder for them, right? Alright, these are not my best edge highlighted, but I'm going to leave them at that and move on to somebody else. He needs a bit of washes to be finished up. Oh, I can hear my daughter's up again. It's now 20 to 11. What? She's like 3. Sweetheart, what are you doing up again? Yes, sweetheart. Oh, I see. Okay, guys, there's the wee and the nappy. We'll have to. Come on. You're gonna have to change nappy. Oh my goodness. In the grim darkness of the 21st century, there are only sculptors. Isn't it true, is it? It's too true. It's too true. As a player of Nids and Salamanders, the box has a bit for everyone, so it's Terminators are going to be Blood Angels. I think that the box can probably honestly work for a lot of different Marine factions. That's why they went for it. I'm a little bit sad they didn't put any jump units in the box, though. I'm still waiting on Primaris jump units. If I get the box, they'll convert Terminators to assault ones. Do you know what? The firstborn Terminators with chain fists, Philip, I think are going to be really good. Because, like, we know Land Raiders, for example, or we know, like, Gladiators are toughness 10, Land Raiders are toughness 12. I guess I don't know if they've showed too much armor for other factions. Dreadnoughts are toughness 10 as well. Yeah, technically they're not firstborn anymore, yeah, correct, Rez, but you know what I mean, because, like, here's the thing, so Power Fists are only wounding on 5s into armor. Thunderhammers are potentially only wounding on 5s into armor. Whereas, like, what was the profile on a Chain Fist? It's anti-vehicle, right? So because it's anti-vehicle, it wounds easier? It's like it auto wounds on a 3-up or something, right? I read the anti-rules today. Until I actually play with them, I think they're going to keep confusing me. But, like, I built a bunch of guys with Chain Fists for 9th edition. Like, Terminators with Chain Fists for 9th edition. I ran them in tournaments. I mainly used them when the meta was, like, super vehicle heavy. Part of it was when... Is Mortals on a vehicle on a 4-up? Is that the rule, is it? I didn't think it was. Hold on, anti. I've got the leaked rules in front of me. Anti, what does anti mean again? Anti. Weapons with anti keyword in their profile are known as anti-weapons. Each time attack is made with this weapon against the target with the keyword after the anti, so like anti-vehicle, an unmodified wound roll of this scores a critical wound. A critical wound doesn't mean a critical wound doesn't mean a mortal wound. It just means it always wounds, right? The thing I was worried about Death Guard today, the stat on the Blight Lord is no different from generic Terminators by -1 wound and +1 toughness. What did you want with the Blight Lord, Red? Like, what were you hoping that they got different, Red? I'm not sure toughness 6 was the answer to make Blight Lord Terminator strong, by the way. Because I saw Colin was complaining about it. He was saying that there's like a lot of things with auto wounds, or there's a lot of ways to get auto wounds. So he wasn't sure +1 toughness on the Blight Lords was actually all that great. And I feel like I tend to agree with him. I'm looking at the new Terminator stat sheet for 10th, and Chain Fist is anti-vehicle 3-up. So I think what that means, and Nathan, thanks for looking at that, I think that means that basically, assuming you hit with your Chain Fist, so you hit on a 3-up, right? Because there's no -1 to hit with a Chain Fist, I think? Or is there a minus... What's the... You hit with a Chain Fist on a 3-up, then you just auto-wound on a 3-up, I think is what that means. Like, critical wound is basically when you would roll a 6 up. So I don't think you're doing mortals. I just think you're wounding on a 3 up. So chain, it's a little bit annoying that new box, like the Leviathan box, is coming out, and it's got power fists on all the Terminator. I mean, maybe that's a decision, because then they'll be like, oh, you need a squad with chain fists. Oh, we didn't give you one. Well, you better buy your whatever you call it, the multi-part kit for those new Terminators to get the chain fist squad, because that will be better. I kind of think that's what it's going to be. I'm fortunate. I think I built at least 10 with chain fists for when I was into the meta where it was like everybody was running like 9 orc buggies, and it was like, I just need stuff that takes out orc buggies, and chain fists were really good at doing that. They no longer come with a better invuln. Yeah, I knew that they didn't come with a better invuln. Did they? I don't know. I don't know if we know enough about Death Guard. I think right now, because like Auspex Tactics did a video yesterday saying that like Eldar were like way too powerful, and he did another video today saying that like Death Guard are not going to be good. I don't know if we've got the full picture yet. I don't think we can make those sort of assumptions. I mean, maybe we can make them because there's not as much depth as we maybe were expecting, but no, I don't know. I'm going to wait to reserve any judgments like that until we see more rules. Blood Angels Terminators with hammers, should I have gone claws? Nobody. I think claws have just got seriously worse. Again, it's coming down, James, that we don't have all the information. We've got a good amount of information, but we don't know everything, and we definitely we don't know if Blood Angels are getting Red Thirst, or what our chapter doctrine is, or what our detachment ability is. There's too many unknowns, so I don't think anyone can say you should have gone with claws or you should have gone with hammers as it stands. As soon as we have more information, I can start kicking out videos based on what we know, but right now we just don't know enough. I think I have 10 close combat Blood Angels Terminators, and where I am right now is I'd finished I painted my first squad, which I did 3 Thunderhammer and 3 Lightning and 2 Lightning Claw, and then I was adding more, right, because I had another 5. Basically the inverse. So if I painted 3 Thunderhammer, I had 2 more Thunderhammers to paint. And the same with the claws. I've been slowly painting away at the last 2 hammer guys, and I would probably, I'm going to continue to do that. So I'll probably finish the 2 hammer. So I'll have 5 hammers, and I'll have 2 claws finished, I think. And then maybe at some point I'll get to the 3 claw guys. So personally, I think that the hammers are better. I think that the hammers probably make more sense. I don't think claws are bad, but I mean, it's just the way I've prioritized myself. And arguably, everyone's looking at hammers like, oh, hammers got worse, right? Because they used to be 3 damage. In some ways, hammers got better. For example, you can't always choose your opponent on the table, and what I mean by that is alright, let's say you drop in your Terminators, your Hammer Terminators, to take out, to take out a Plague Burst Crawler. So you're like, I definitely need to take out this Plague Burst Crawler with my Hammer Terminators. So you do that, you drop them in, you kill it, you're happy, right? Next turn, your Hammer Terminators get charged by a bunch of Poxwalkers, just because your opponent wants to lock up those Terminators, keep them in combat. He figures Poxwalkers are actually really good for doing that, in that all those 3 damage hits from the Terminators are wasted into the Poxwalkers, right? because like Thunder Hammers into Poxwalkers is going to be wholly inefficient. Well, in the new edition, every 6 is going to be 2 mortal wounds, which you never had before. So arguably, before, where every 6 didn't make any difference, and you were wholly inefficient at killing Poxwalkers, now I guess if you were fighting your Poxwalkers and you roll 3 6s, well, your mortal wounds have just splashed over and killed 3 Poxwalkers. So there's just too many variables to look at, and there's too many situations, and we just don't, until we know more about the edition. Yeah, because Reziel just said hammers are nerfed. Well, I mean, they are until you put that one situation that I just said on the screen, and then it's like, well, actually, in this situation, hammers are maybe better, right, Rez? Yeah, in a bunch of other situations, they're nerfed, but if you come up against enemies that have 1 wound and you roll a bunch of 6s, then all of a sudden, hammers a lot better. So, I mean, there's and then that's the other thing, like, yes, we think hammers are nerfed because they're not 3 damage, but then I guess if you're fighting something and you've got a lot of attacks and you roll a bunch of 6s and you do a bunch of mortals and that goes straight through, then you bypass all their armor saves, and hey, your nerfed hammers aren't looking that bad if you just did 10 mortal wounds, you know? Bearing in mind that, like, maybe you're not wounding so efficiently anymore, right? Because everything's higher toughness. So maybe you need to fish for 6s and hammers now, who knows? I don't know, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and tell you that, like, everything, you know, for me, where we are right now, the lack of -1 damage mitigates the Thunder Hammer. Yeah, I don't know, have we seen a model that has -1 damage? Because that was one of the main reasons to take Thunder Hammers as well, right? It was like, you need hammers because of all the -1 damage. -1 on Dreadnoughts, -1 on Telemons, -1 on Death Guard, -1 on Mortarion. You definitely felt like you needed 3 damage weapons. Do you need 3 damage weapons now? I don't know, right? What I was going to say is, the thing that springs to mind is, you remember that scene in The Matrix where there was the spoon and he was trying to bend it with his mind, and they were like, unlearn everything that you have learned. In some ways, that's kind of where we are, right? We don't have all the information. We can all make assumptions on what we think or what would make sense, but there's too many variables. We've not seen -1 damage yet, says James. Yeah, so we don't know if there is -1 damage on anything, because we've not seen it yet. There could be a whole army that has -1 damage. There could be no army that has -1 damage. Regardless, I'll be here. There is no hammer yet. There is no hammer. There is no Thunder Hammer. There is no spoon. Like, I'll try and make videos on all of it, and we'll try and... Yeah, I mean, I'll try and make videos on everything. You know I will. Try and work out exactly what the best options are, trying to work out what the best army lists are, trying to work out what the best meta picks are. We'll cover it all, as we did in 9th edition. The only real difference is I didn't start my channel till much later in 9th. Like, I didn't have my channel at the start of 9th edition. So I didn't have any subscribers, I didn't know what people wanted to see, I didn't have anyone to discuss Blood Angels with. Well, we've got all that now, so hopefully, the way I look at it is, hopefully it just means we can hit the ground running quicker. We get so many knowledgeable people in the community, we get so many, you know, people in Discord, like, that will help, like, break things down and figure things out, so I just think we'll be in a better shape than... Oh my god, my daughter's out of her bed again. Yeah, I might have to end the stream if she gets out of bed one more time. Sweetheart, where are you? Jeez, love, I'm sorry. Alright. What hammers are my melta? I honestly have no clue. Yeah, I mean, your famous one-liner might be gone, Rez. I don't know. It's really hard to say, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do like 20 more minutes of painting, then I'm gonna wrap it, and I'm probably gonna have to deal with my daughter just deciding. Deciding she doesn't want to sleep tonight for whatever reason. The problem is we've not seen characters and units for what, 2+ editions. That's going to take some used to again. Yeah. Oh, good evening, Highland Phoenix. I didn't see you pop in there. Sorry. How are you? I think. Oh, Tom, thank you so much for the $4.99. I do really appreciate it. I was going to say, did you do a? I've lost my train of thought. No, I was something about Highland Phoenix. Characters, squads. I was going to say something that was meaningful about all that. Squads. Yeah, we haven't seen like any of the Blood Angels characters either. We haven't seen the Blood Angels chapter detachment. We also haven't seen typically like how we're going to be able to deal like with armor as Blood Angels. But no, thank you so much for the $4.99, Tom. You're welcome to chat anytime. I do really appreciate it hanging out. Please feel free to come over to Discord as well. Just type Discord in the exclamation mark Discord in the chat. I guess there's just so much to discuss about 10th edition. That was what it was. Yes, the day 10th edition launches. Assuming that I can get the rules. I don't know if I can. Assuming I can get the rules. What I wanted to say was, assuming that I can get the rules the day 10th edition launches, I'll try and just do like probably like a whole day stream. Like, I'll get Colin, I'll get Brett, I'll get Kev or something, and we'll play like the whole day. And we'll try and learn the rules, and we'll try and learn what's good. I'm sure some other channels will be doing that as well, but I mean, our channel we'll be doing it on a very fun. We'll be trying to do it in a very fun way anyway. Yeah, but so we'll try and make sure that we've got like a day of, like last year it released on a Saturday, or not last year, last edition it released on a Saturday. So assuming it releases on a Saturday, we'll try and have like a launch day stream where we just stream the entire day. Get like 2 or 3 games in, get a bit of chatting in between each stream on like what we were liking, what stratagems were good. All that kind of good stuff, I guess. That's the goal. Originally I was thinking I was going to have to fight the crackheads for that, but I'll see if I can wangle it so I can use the space. Hey James, good evening. How the hell are you? Do you have a good day? I was actually going to text you when I got off stream. I just can't text you right now because my phone is literally the camera that I'm using for looking at the model. I was thinking about you. James climbed... Did you climb the Cairngorm, which is like the 6th highest mountain in Scotland today? I'm really glad you came on the channel, James, because it's the first time that we've it's the first time we've had flesh tears on the channel. It just took you to fly whatever it was 9 hours across from America to play Blood Angels. You did nice. So are you in Edinburgh now? Yeah, that's a good walk up past the ski centre. I don't know if the railway line is running. They had it closed for a couple of years, but they've been doing a lot of maintenance on the railway line up there. There used to be a restaurant in that building, like whatever it was, like halfway up the top. But I guess because the railway line had been closed, it has been closed for years. Like maybe at least like 4 or 5 years, but I guess they got some funding from the government, and I guess they were trying to get it reopened. You got a coffee? Oh, that's amazing. Well, last time I was up there, it was all still under refurb. It was about, that was last summer, so I guess, like, if you'd been here last year, you wouldn't, that building wasn't open. It was all under refurbishment, and I guess, did you see the train? Was the train running up and down? Because that wasn't open last year either. The Blood Angels mirror match was fun. It was also funny that like it literally came down to the last dice roll of the game. I like games like that on stream. Like at a tournament, I don't really want the game to come down to the last like someone's got the last dice roll to win or lose the game. But on stream, it's pretty cool actually, because it's like it just makes the payoff, I think, at the end of the stream just that much better. So even better is like, yeah, it was like he could win it or he could lose it on the last dice roll, and then and then double 6 outside the dice tray when an explode. The Terminator did have 2 wounds left, so it would have been a 3-up to kill the Terminator from the explosion, and that would have won the game for me as well. So yeah, it was a fun one. That's actually a rough map for Blood Angels though. Like, I've played into that map a lot of the time, and see, with like 2 objectives just sitting out there and like no cover on 2 objectives, that's rough, man. That's why I think Blood Angels are going to have like armor, I think, in 10th edition, because well, I think we're going to need armor anyway to deal with opponent's armor, but like you know, just holding those objectives on no man's land, kind of rough. My last 2 mirror matches were 1-point games. Jim, yeah, enjoy your night out in Edinburgh. Thanks so much for stopping past. Alright, I'm going to end in 10 minutes time and go see if I can get my daughter to actually go to sleep. I don't know if she is asleep yet. Mass Profet's going to be like debating like whether he wants to have kids now, because honestly this doesn't happen very often. Well, do you know what? She's never been up this late actually before. We figured we had her bedtime too early. But like she's definitely up too late just now. I need to ask my wife if she had a nap this afternoon. Maybe she let her have a nap in now. I do like getting to the end of like Edge Highlight and Death Company. It just takes me forever. Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I can't really blame my wife because she's at home all day with both kids, Rez, and I tell you, if I was home all day with both kids and one of them wanted to have a nap and it meant that I got some peace and quiet, I would 100% let them take a nap, right? But sometimes, like, with two kids running around, you can't even hear yourself think. Oh. Ah. I was honestly kind of expecting Games Workshop to do a damage control post today. You know how they did the damage control post when Dante came out? I was kind of expecting to see a damage control post where they just... because they said that they were going to release all the 10th edition rules for free anyway, right? Like, they said that. So I was kind of half expecting to just see a post where it's like, you know, here's the PDF for 10th edition because some idiot has gone and scanned it in their car and uploaded it to the internet. I didn't even have to look for it. I just logged into Discord and like 3 people had PM'd it to me. I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's the whole leak. Okay. People are generally having kids like a lot later now though, right? Like I was speaking to a friend today that was saying that they had kids, like their friend had kids when the man was like 49. I was like, man, I don't know if I want kids when I'm 49, but people are generally going like way later. I had my first kid at 36 and my wife was 34. After these 5 Thunderhammer Death Company are done, I have to decide if I'm going to paint my Vindicator Laser Destroyer or if I'm going to do 5 Infernal Pistol / Power Fists Death Company. I think both probably have some value. However, I feel like the Laser Destroyer might be the safer of the two choices just because it's like, well, we know armor's getting good. I don't know if we're still going to get those sort of super cheap free Infernal Pistols and Power Swords. So based on that, I feel like I should probably do the Laser Destroyer next and then come back to Death Company. But I'm not 100% sold on it. I haven't 100% decided yet. Morgo is 34. Oh, so yeah, a few people are similar age to me. I thought I was a little bit later than some people at 36, but apparently, like, it's much more common to be much later nowadays. Yeah, for your first one it does take a couple of years to get into the swing of things. I think you should embrace it, Mass Prophet. It's good. It'll be the best thing you ever do. It'll be the toughest thing you ever do, but it will be the best thing you ever do. Hey, but remember, what's that thing they always used to say? It's like, if it ain't easy, it's not worth doing, right? Or what is it? I think the phrase is something like, shit. I know the phrase I'm trying to say. Nothing worth doing is easy, or something. There's a phrase like that was like an old person's phrase. I don't know what it's called. It's something like that, where it's like, nothing easy is worth doing. I don't know. When you start projecting the milestones for how old the kids will be, yeah, that's when it gets scary, Rez. That's when it gets too real, like. Nothing worth it is easy. Yeah, Trivial Pursuit, that's it. I don't know when I felt comfortable about having kids. We had our second kid, and I'd kind of forgotten how to even raise a kid, and we only had like 2 years between them. But yeah, you'll learn quick. Alright, this guy is going to need a good amount of extra time on him. Yeah, please come check us out tomorrow night for the podcast. I'll put up a community post probably tonight or tomorrow with a link to our chat that we're going to chat about all the leaked rules. So we're definitely doing that tomorrow night. And it would be good to see a bunch of you guys there. I'm going to call this stream in just a minute. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you to anyone that is a channel member, supports me in any way, shape or form, or even just watches the videos every week. I have a couple more final, probably, I've got a couple final videos coming out for 9th edition over the next couple of weeks. I've got a couple more preview videos of 10th edition coming out. I've got that box video on the Leviathan box coming out as well. So there's still a bit of content to come this edition, I guess, and also to be ready for 10th edition. So, you know, please, if you've not subscribed yet, please consider doing that as well. Some of the most enjoyable things require no effort, pain, or difficulty. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that they say the best things in life are free, but they also do say that nothing worth doing is easy. Yeah, that's exactly what kids are. They're super worth doing, but nothing about it is easy. And on that bombshell, it's 11:20 and I need to go put I need to go put a 3-year-old to bed because I can still hear her rabbiting away in the other room. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for watching. More edge highlighting on another day, I'm sure. 07 Commander, thanks for being here tonight. Covery Fire, thank you so much. To everybody else, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night on the podcast. New video on Friday as always. More edge highlighting. I was gonna say, I think it must take me like probably about 2 hours to edge highlight each one of these guys and then clean it up. And I don't even know if the edge highlighting is all that neat. It's okay, Yeah. Alright, cool. Enjoy your evening, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.